Hello.
Hi.
Hi,
So,
everybody.
hi everybody. It's Han here with Mar.
That's
Hi, Mar.
me. Hi,
And
Joseph.
hi, Joseph. Hi, Deborah, Kentucky. Hi, Cynthia. Fabiola. So, guys, it's Tuesday, and we are back with our Tuesday session session here with Marlene on Montreal Confections. And what's up today? What are we doing today?
So today I am continuing in my stencil talk that I'm doing for the month of May. So today we are making silk screens. Yes, Ashley, that's right.
I did see some preview guys, and it's amazing. So I hope we
So
can stay throughout the live today. Marlon has
yes,
some exciting stuff.
I'm going to run through the process and then you guys can ask all your questions and that. Here, let me just pop up. So here's the products I'm going to be using. It's sold by Icon Art Stencils, and there's a discount code with the Montreal Confections. Okay, and where's the ticker here? I'm just going to run this here. It's at the bottom. So I'm going to have the code running at the bottom, and obviously you can watch this on replay if there's anything that you want to re-see.
And as a reminder, I wanted to just say, not reminder, tell folks, this is not sponsored.
No,
Marlon, right? You had purchased the silk screen
I
liquid.
purchased it all and then I experimented with it all, and now I'm going to share. So what is a silk screen? I took photos because it's difficult to show with the live camera, so I've done still photos. So look at this closely. You can actually see the mesh there. And the blue is actually a liquid that is coats the mesh, you see? And so the process, part of the liquid becomes solid, and then there's another part that is you can wash it away. Here you can see there's no bridges. The hole in that A is held in place with the mesh. Okay, so that's the magic of a silk screen stencil.
Hello, everybody. Still people joining us. Hi, Sally. So I don't know. Question one: is it easy?
It is pretty gosh darn easy, Sally.
So that's thumbs up.
I have to say. Okay, so first thing I want to show you guys is the art. Now, usually when we talk stencils, it's pretty standard lines, right? You have to have a certain size of line. Look at that bunny. Look at the shark. Imagine now you're going to be able to make this type of graphic with a stencil. Here, look at the owl. The owl is amazing. I tested all those fonts there, so you can see the different like kind of sizes. So you can achieve a crazy level of detail with these silkscreen stencils. So so here I'm just going to show you the images. So the these are the same stencil image that I showed you, but this is actually done. So the top one I did with Royal Icing. I did it on paper because I was experimenting, so I didn't make all these cookies. All right. And so you can see there the shark is at the top in icing. The bottom one is airbrush version. Here is that owl. The one on the right in icing. On the other side is airbrushed. The airbrush icing again here for that bunny. Look at this goat.
Amazing detail, huh? Amazing detail.
So you couldn't do this with a normal stencil. Like it's just not possible. Okay. So So the hold on a second here. So let's start from step one. So the first thing you have to find your art. So the art here, okay, just imagine you have your art as printed as black as possible, and you're printing this on a piece of transparency, like back in the day when we're in school. Anyway, in my generation, and they would do those clear plastics on the front of the class. So you're printing a black image onto these transparencies. So here I have the ones that I use. Let me just add my camera to them. Is it this here? All right. And you can see here, I printed a whole bunch of them. And you want to have it as black as possible. And the why you need it as black as possible is so that the black portions block the light from going to them, okay? So the black portions protect the silk screen from being solidified by the UV light. So the UV light takes that liquid that's coating the mesh and makes it solid. So the black protects it, and that portion that's protected with the black is, you're going to be able to wash it away. Okay, so any questions so far? Is that relatively clear? Can
Kim, we are doing well. I hope you are doing well as well.
So far, so good in that explanation. Okay, so now you've printed whatever design you found that you like onto the clear plastic, and you want to crowd, you can crowd them. So here's my example. You can crowd them as much as you want on the plastic because
I do have a question. Did you print it using what?
I just print, so you can buy the clear sheets to print either with a laser or an inkjet, but it's too,
Okay.
you have to, like when you buy anything, there's a different, right, inkjet or laser. Okay, and so you can crowd them much more than you would if you were making like a stencil, because this, you can cut them out. So you can maximize your sheets, crowd them, and then cut them up when you're actually making the stencil, okay? So here I've experimented. You can see I experimented with so many. I did a shark, Santa. Oh, this one here, the bike. I was so excited. Look at a bike stencil. I mean, that's
really
like,
neat.
yeah, that's, look at this one here. I mean, all these super fine details. This flower, you see this. So it's all really detailed stuff I was experimenting with to see if it would work, okay? So let's move on to the next step here. I'm going to move these. All right, so now you've got your images and you can cut them up, okay? And then you're just laying your, so you see the blue in the back there? That is the silk screen that you have to keep in like a bag that doesn't, like it's protected from the light, okay? So you lay your clear plastic designs on top, and then you rest another piece of clear plastic just to keep it flat, so that when you do turn on that UV light, so that that it's really tight, so that the black really blocks the light from getting to the whole sheet, okay? Does that make sense? So you're blocking the light. So first thing here, let me look at my note. So transparent plastic sheet is, oh yes, it's only printable on one side. So you have to kind of like feel it. One side is really slippery and one side has a bit of a rubbery grab. So you're printing on the rubbery grab side. Crowd your designs. Print at the highest quality. You want to print at the top quality so that there's the most ink possible, okay? Once you have your designs in position on the silk screen, you cover them with that plastic, like I said, to keep them tight to the silk screen. Yes.
So would it be like the top quality, like a photo, like, because it's like that's right,
Yeah.
like on a printer you usually have, like, I think the photo. It's like
I picked the black and white setting, and then I did top quality to get it as black as possible. Okay, and then you do the exposure process for 35 seconds with the inkjet and 30 seconds with the laser printing. So it's very fast. Okay, so once you've done that, you move to the sink, and then you're just rinsing it out. So it says on their site to use like a jet kind of a thing, but I have a very powerful kitchen nozzle, and I actually damaged the silk screen like because it was so strong.
it was so strong.
Yeah, so you're just shooting it, you know, and you get like, you're gonna have a few duds. I did ruin a couple of sheets, you know, playing with it and figuring it out, but you can see here.
This is cold water, or is it
It's warm water, and you
water?
can see what's being washed away are the black lines that protected the blue sheet there, you see? So those areas get washed away simply with water. There's no magic liquid. That's it. You're just using water to wash it away. And that's it. So the light solidifies that sheet. Everything that's exposed to light becomes a solid. What was protected by the black is still washable. You can wash it away. Did you want to ask something? I'm talking a lot.
It's amazing. I think everybody is just kind of soaking everything in. There will be,
So
I'm
if you
sure.
make a mistake,
So if you do have a question, just pop it in and we will get to it.
so if you want to check your print, you can print on paper before you actually print onto your clear plastic, right? So that's a way to maybe avoid a mistake. But once you've created the silk screen, there's not really anything to do. If you've made a mistake, you just have to redo it again, you know? So sadly, it's not, you can't really recover from that. Amber's only here on Fridays. You're going to have to settle for us. All right, so now we've washed it out. Here you can see it's like, this is super fast there, but you're letting the water run on it and then washing out your designs. Here I have a few. I did not leave as much space around as I would have if I was actually making stencils.
Where can you purchase silk?
So the Silkscreen products here, where's the picture that I had up? So it's all available right here. I've got it up on the screen. You see that icon art?
Artstencil.com, and you can get 15% off when using code Montreal Confections. And on this site, they have the material that you're using,
yes,
along with the machine.
So here you can purchase a Try Me set. This is the set. It's 40, that's Canadian dollars, 43.88. And then they have this product where you brush this on and it makes your stencils food safe, if that was a question that you had. Okay. So here we can look at the Silkscreen Stencils. Here's the one you saw me use a wash out in the video. So you can see my hand there through. It's not completely transparent, but you can generally see. So you want to give yourself at least an inch around the design, you know, before you cut it up.
Would you say that the material is similar or same to the material that you are used to, because you have some?
No, it's how could I compare it? I would say it's kind of like a windbreaker-ish. You know, like because like back in the day, remember a kiwi? Do you remember Kiwi? Those jackets? Do you remember that? It's like mesh kind of, but there is a coating to make it waterproof. It's kind of like that if I had to describe it, because when you feel it, you feel the fabric on one side. The other side, it does feel very plasticky. So it's kind of more pliable than if you were using the hard plastic. But you can see here, if I zoom in, there are no bridges at all. The design is
a beautiful, beautiful design. And you have used it with icing and with an airbrush.
Yes, I did. So I experimented with both, and in the coming weeks, I'll use it on actual projects. But today, I'm showing you guys the process of making the silk screen here. So this is actually the real way that silk screen is made. It's the people who make t-shirts and stuff, they actually put a mesh in a kind of a frame, and they put an emulsion liquid on it, and they do this whole UV process. What's different is that it's a sheet. You don't need to put it in a frame, and they become individual stencils. If you're silk screening like t-shirts, they leave them in the frame so that they can place them to squeegee the t-shirt or whatever product that they're making. Here, look at this bird. The bike Here I thought for Father's Day would be cute. You guys know what goat is? The greatest of all time, with goat cookies for Father's Day maybe. Here's that shark.
So Dawn is asking, this is going back to the UV process. UV, what is the UV part of the process, and where do you purchase the transparency sheet? Well, transparency sheets are available.
Everything is available at that store. So they have everything A to Z that you need there. If you can't see it behind me, but I'll show it right here. I have the video. So it's basically a square that is has a light on top, and it's very like it's 35 seconds, and that's it. Like you're just the light, the UV lights, kind of like I guess nail polish.
So
You know
how,
the
so
show.
Melissa is asking, how do you need UV light, or can you use sun? How
So
do you
the thing
how do you
about the
use UV
sun,
light?
I think, I did not experiment with the sun, but the thing that happens with the sun is how do you block the thing from being like reached with the UV sun and set everything up? Do you know what I mean? Like that's so in my kitchen here with the UV thing, I can carefully position everything, but if I have to place everything out in the sun, well, it's already starting to cure. So aligning everything. So that's where the sun, you'd have to kind of like bring it out in a tray, I guess, and then lift off a shield that would protect it. So that's where, and then in the winter, that would become
Yeah,
tricky.
it's not
I
very
don't know
practical.
about that. So it probably, I mean, UV is this, it's the sun, but it's just that side of it. Like you want to be able to kind of control exposure. It's kind of like back, when you see the old time when they finished the photos in the dark room kind of a thing. So it's just like being able to control it. So here I have a video of me doing it with the airbrush, like using the silk screens here with the airbrush. So they are slightly tacky, the silk screen, to hold them in place. And so in this particular video, I have them upside down because they
Oh,
were sticking to my paper and ripping the paper. So I have them upside down and I sprayed them. And then in this video, it's me just cutting up that printed sheet. So you can see there, I'm just sectioning them up so that I can space them out on the silk screen. So you can decide if you want to make your stencil 6x6 so they fit in your stencil holder. But by crowding them on the plastic, you can maximize the, how many you can fit onto the actual sheet. So again, here just to show you, here's the shark. One is icing at the top. The bottom one is airbrush. Here's the owl, and you can really feel like the relief on the icing versions. I actually prefer the icing one. So this could be a paint-a-cookie, for example. Adult, this little bunny.
I see Kim had the question. I was light, so why do you need the sun, and would a sun lamp work?
I don't know. Maybe I don't know about sun lamps. You need the light, okay? So it basically cures the liquid that's coated on that mesh and makes it a solid. So you need the light so that exposure happens, so that you can kind of like it's really that it becomes a solid, and then you can wash away the portions that were protected from the light. So you're essentially cutting with these black images. That black images protect the sun from getting to the silk screen. I experimented with some, like this here is a buffalo print, but it's so small. It'd probably work if I blew up the buffalo print, but this one did not work well. This one here was not a success. I have them here in real. This one, you see, I made a bottle and there's like a cute mermaid. I got
That maybe like the linear lines, like the buffalo, or like that's not something that maybe is ideal for the silks. Like
Yeah, but I wanted to see still. if I could, because you can see, so I experimented. Here it is, actually, the icing version. So you can kind of see it.
Very grunge, right? Like,
Yeah, it's not, but this one here did pretty
I,
good.
I like it.
This
It's
one
just
here did pretty good.
very different. Do you think this would work on like chocolates and stuff?
Oh, yeah. It certainly, if your chocolate was like, it
Yeah,
gets thicker as it's. So here you can see they don't stain as much with icing. The airbrush I was using was brown, and they did get stained. Here's the Icing Bee. Look at how cute that is. So you could basically ice, like you could add your template to the cookie, and then ice your sections. Like, if you have the template on the cookie, you could ice the wings, let's say in a light blue, do the bee in yellow, flood the rest in white, and then lay your silk screen on top of your flat kind of colored icing. Or you can use your silhouette to make the sections to airbrush the colors on.
Have you, when you were airbrushing, I know you'll do another one with a silk screen, but how about how many cookies, for example, would you say you could use the one silk screen on without like washing it? Is it that you have to wash it every time or when you're airbrushing?
No,
Or
I think that if you have it in a holder, so that, because it is a little bit floppy, it's fabric. So ideally you'd have it in the holder. The thing that's different when you're, let's say, stenciling with icing is, like when you're stenciling with icing with the regular stencils, sometimes you catch on these little kind of parts that stick up.
yeah,
So there's none of that because it's completely flat. So you can kind of go, and you really don't need a lot of icing. Like, it's such a small amount that
so
the
very, very
stencil doesn't get loaded,
Oh,
you know?
so it's like almost like when you scrape it off, it's like almost it's pretty much empty. It's not like loaded with icing. It's empty.
Exactly right. That's it.
Yes, Sally, I agree. It looks like a stand. Yeah, I agree. So would you
Ex-
say that I do like the color, like you use brown, but what like would you experiment in doing? I know you had said about the bee, but would you do different colors, or do you think like using one color is probably the
Well, I think that you'd have to like add, like, maybe create different stencils for each color, because if you look at actual like silk screen videos, they do multicolor silk screens, but you have to have like a little bit like the 2-layer stencils. You have to have right, like you have to think about, and that's when you can kind of combine your silk screen with your silhouette if you already have it, to create the
you
set.
know,
Like, for example,
I'm thinking it's tacky because, like you said, they use this process to create designs on T-shirts. So I
yeah,
think it's very tacky. So when you using it on
exactly.
fabric or something, it sticks to it. So there is no way, like you can, so it's like flush throughout with the surface you're trying to transfer your design on.
Well, when you look at their site, like, they do crafts, like they paint on almost everything with
Anything,
these silk
right?
screens. And so since they recently only came out with that food coating, now it's starting to, come out on.
So the food coding, folks, it's this is this. Oops, where is it?
Sorry, and
Oh, okay.
I just loaded this video. Sorry.
Mhm.
So this is icing. So this is me doing the icing.
Icing version. That's amazing.
That's it.
And you could use it, I think, also on fondant as well, right?
Oh, yeah. This is the bike. So see how thin it is?
It's very, very thin. Yes,
And there it is. That's the bike.
it's amazing. So I wanted to show folks. Okay, you meant
This
done.
one, this one it failed, but I'm showing it anyway.
Oh, yeah. Well, there is always, there is a learning curve to it, obviously, and without experimenting with it, you will not know what works and what doesn't. So you have to treat the silk screen once it's done with this glaze, correct?
Yes. So you're just like painting it on, and then you kind of wash off the excess.
Because this is powder, so you have to mix it with something else to.
I bought it, but I didn't use it. It says to add alcohol to it, and I
Okay, so
guess
you have
that makes it.
alcohol and you paint over it, and I guess it's the process that you have to follow to make it food safe.
June actually dove in and got it. So June, she's been playing with it as well. So she's been also playing with her new toy. Yeah, Fabiola, they're fun. Go to Han's blog, and she
Awesome.
has
Yeah, you
her
can find
recipe
the
there.
recipe on my blog. I don't know if you're looking for a, I guess, real icing recipe you're looking for. So there are a lot of them there. I have fresh lemon, I have meringue, I have fresh eggs, I have pasteurized eggs, I have strawberry royal icing. So my blog is hanielas.com. Okay, Cynthia has a question. I may have missed it. Oops.
Sorry, I was just putting your blog. I didn't realize I was going
Thank
to take
you.
the other one away.
So I may have missed it. Does it need a stencil frame to hold it in place? Very good question. Thank you.
When you're using it, you don't have to have a stencil holder, just like for the regular stencils, you don't have to have it. But the stencil holder does make, you know, sometimes life a little bit easier holding. But I did not, full disclosure, make actual cookies with these yet. Now, I was, for the last 4 days, only making stencils. I failed printing the plastic. I
Um,
failed making some silk screens. I, had some
it's
struggles.
the
So I didn't
process.
have time to make
Yes.
cookies.
So guys, I mean, if you're not planning on maybe purchasing silk screen supplies, you can always support Marlene through coffee for all the information that she's sharing and all
Um,
the things that you put into this. So my blog, how many times would you think you could wash and reuse a silk screen stencil? Karen. Hi, Karen.
So the thing that I encountered, so when they're drying, they're at their most fragile. So when you wash it and then set it down, you have to make sure that it's mesh side down and that the plastic tacky side is up. They stick to each other. They stick to each other and to, like before I had one drying and I thought it was fine. I put it on a plate. Well, it literally stuck to the plate when I pulled it off from the plate. Do I have it in the
Really?
trash?
It damaged. That's interesting.
Anyway, it completely fell apart. It completely fell, like the plastic lifted off. So they stick to each other. So they are, I don't want to say it's like fragile, but they're, when they're wet, that's when they're at their most vulnerable. And you want to keep the plastic because there is a plastic coating to them and you can let them dry with that. But to tell you their longevity, I couldn't tell you right now because I haven't really used them.
Mhm.
But after they've solidified, the water, like to wash them, seems to be fine. Like they don't, you know what I mean? Like they, and if you look at their site, like this is something that people have been using for a while now. If you guys watch at all polymer video, I get a lot of polymer earring videos. And everybody now is using these silk screens to paint their polymer before they cut their little earrings. And the silk screen is like 2.0 of stencils now. So this is, it's been, like most things, stuff exists in the world of crafts and slowly transfers to the world of cookies. And so this here, you don't have to add bridges to the designs. You can get crazy details with the stencils. Here, look at this is in icing. I mean,
Very
there's zero, you could never do this with a regular stencil. The goat, this is icing. You can feel the relief on it. And if you love the look of painted cookies, like the watercolor, well, you
nice.
can come in and add the core of your critter and then come in and add, the details and give them a totally hand painted look, but so much easier to do. It is more expensive than the plastic, for sure. For sure, it's a different, you know, but let's say you were selling to a company and you were doing a logo, well, you could charge them for the, you know, kind of the making of their logo into a stencil.
Yes, absolutely.
So there, that's right. That's right. All you need is a printer. So you need to print your image, and then you take that image to then make the stencil. So it's the image that's making the stencil. And if you look here, they have the Try Me kit for 40, this is $44 Canadian. So American, it's under $40, and you can kind of get your hands on it and experiment. So if you do use the sun, like some of you were suggesting, just maybe put it all on a cookie sheet, drape it in something black, and then carry it outside to do the UV portion. But
You
it's just tougher to control how long you'd expose it. I guess you could Google that. Maybe they, with the Try Me kit, do give you some guidance with regards to how long you'd need to expose it with the sun. Bye, Fabiola.
Thanks for joining us. You had mentioned that you, in the beginning, that you also used, you made some fonts. Do you have, I mean, sorry if I put you on the spot. Do you have
No,
any?
not at all. So I did make them into stencils, but I did not actually use them. But
Because
here it is.
I find like this is something. Sorry, Kim. We'll get to your question. Sorry, I took it off. I think like the letters, that's something that's always like doing the monograms or the whole
Absolutely.
sayings and the messages. It's something that I think to me, for me personally, that's like very interesting because it's just so perfect.
So here, this is the points of the lines. You know, like when you do a line on a graphics program, you know, like the thickness, you go 1, 2, 3. Do you understand what I'm talking about? The fatness of a line when you draw a box, let's say.
Yes.
So this is this. So this is 20 and this is 1. So at about 6, the line starts being decent. 7 is, I think, your ideal. No, 8 is the ideal. So at 8, you're getting a nice, really fine line, and it's very like pronounced and good, you know. Smaller than that, it's a bit fuzzy. And so what happens is when your printed line is so fine, well, the sun can kind of get under there, right? Because it's so fine. Like the protection is not as strong on that area. So yeah, at about 8 points, the line starts being really good, and then it gets fatter. And then here, these fonts are really cookie sized. You know, like you don't write in big unless you're writing a name, but you know, these are
Yeah, they
cookie.
don't look too big, but it's great that for the like because it's then it really like speeds up the process so much.
Well, speeds it up and does something really polished.
Really, very, very polished. Yes, I mean you could. I mean, obviously, lettering can be done with stencil, but this is just different. So, Kim, going back to your question, a lady, I bought some silk stencils from said as long as you take care of them properly, they should last forever. Yeah, so it's not a question, but thank you for sharing that. Yes, so if you stir, I mean, just like with everything, if you take care of it, it will last for a long time. Sally, are you planning on demo how you do those with royal icing?
Yes, the letters,
I guess. Well, I guess maybe yeah, Ginger. Yes,
because I can just grab my icing and do it right now.
going
Hold
to
on.
do it now. Exciting. So yeah, Marvin is using. You can use royal icing and also obviously I guess other mediums, but we are working with cookies and food. So Marlene has tested this with airbrush and royal icing. Now she's going to demonstrate how to use it with royal icing using the letters the silk
So
screen.
I'm actually going to do it right on my work surface because, like I said, it sticks to the cardstock, and I could work upside down with the airbrush. But now, if it's the sticky side, and I start working with the royal icing, so I really don't have much of a perimeter because I didn't plan on using these for cookies. Right? This was just a making experiment.
And your icing for this, would you say it has to be the same consistency as when you're using it with regular stencils, or does it? Yes.
You want it like pastish, you know? Because if
Okay.
it's really wet, it gets under and it's just not as detailed. So now I'm just gonna lift it off. So there it is.
Nice.
So this one here, it looks a little bit grayish, but it's because in the middle of the font, there's actually a little stitch in it. So I was just wanting to see if a font with details would work. But this one here, look at this fine one. This one here, I would maybe use bold instead. You know, just add a little bit of fatness to it, not necessarily making it bigger, but the bold feature makes the font a little bit like bulkier so that it gets protected from the light, you know?
So, Lisa, we have another question here from Lisa N. So Lisa is asking on their website. It says after it dries to expose it again for 2 to 3
Yes,
minutes. Did you?
that's right, Lisa. Yes, that's right. So yes, you're supposed to do again the exposure process just to basically make sure that it's completely solidified to just, you know, really cure like a final time to get that stencil nice and solid. So there's their link and the discount code. So Sally, you like that? It seems easier to handle. It like hugs more. That's what I want to say. So let's say like sometimes you know the cookies aren't super flat. Well, this like hugs a bump, whereas the plastic stencils will kind of create a buckle, whereas this will kind of like coat the bump if you have a bump in your icing, which
Oh,
sometimes does happen.
you have to purchase the other powder shown in order to make it food safe,
That's
right?
right.
So this
That's
is
right.
the powder, and just follow the directions. You said that it needs to be activated with alcohol, and I mean, I'm sure instructions are there. So
Yeah, it comes like their package comes very nice. Like there's all kinds of like open this now and like all the instructions of how to and this and that. I bought because for me in Canada, ordering stuff is tricky from the States. So I bought 100 sheets because I knew that if I had to order again, I'd have to pay the shipping again. And I figured better safe than sorry. End up if you say, oh, that, but I would have paid like again, like the shipping is crazy for me here. Hello,
yes.
Claudia.
Hello, everyone. So if you're just joining us today, Marlon gave us a thorough um, look inside of how silk stencils are made. So if you missed it, don't no need to panic. There is a video for you ready to be played again after the live. It takes a while. It's not like I don't think it's instant. Once we are done live, the Facebook and YouTube, because we are streaming on Facebook and YouTube, it takes a while for it to process, and then it's there for you at any time. You can watch it in a playlist, live playlist.
So, Han, was there anything that you had to promote before I
Um,
the
I do have something coming up, but it's not ready yet. But as always, actually, these are also Sweet Ends and myself and Marlin here. These are our subscription baking club, let's say. So this month you only have, I think, 2 days. If you all the May subscribers, or if you subscribe until May 20th, you will receive also a small. I don't have the picture here, but spatula set with silicone brush set. So if, that's one thing, and I do have something coming up, so hopefully it will be ready maybe on Friday. And also a reminder, we have a schedule here. So this is a May schedule, and on a Friday, I believe it's the 20th on Friday. Am I correct? I'm like so.
it is Friday is the 20th and Han's
So
in the hot seat.
Friday, I'm in a hot seat. I had no idea what I'm making it, and Marlon will be there to help me.
I'll hold your hand virtually.
And hold my hand, yes. And then I guess I'm on also on Tuesday, and then Amber will be back on. If you are looking to see Amber, on 27th of May. So this
And
is
then
a
the final,
screenshot of it. You can take a screenshot of it so you have it, so you know who is decorating and what's going on. And that's happening on Friday and Tuesday, 1 p.m. Eastern time, which is a New York time. Okay.
the 31st will be the last of the Silkscreen days, or not Silkscreen Stencil, probably using the Silkscreen, but that will be the last of it. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. Check out their they've got a lot of tutorials for different projects. I want to try to make some like tote bags and an apron.
Yeah, I was going to say that I would love that as a gift for my birthday next year.
Oh, no problem. Because so many of us do events, like, you know, so even for us, like if we do an event, you want to have your little, you know, so
Yeah,
I'm
I
going
love that,
to
yes.
I'm going to experiment with that to see how easy it is to make a logo t-shirt or apron or some stuff for you guys. So that's it.
So thank you
Yes,
so much
that's true.
for quality.
This is
Thank you.
very true. It doesn't catch when you're using it, like the little
Yes.
plastic sometimes will curve up.
I know I have a snowflake. I'm very into snowflakes. And so all the stencils I have, it's impossible to use them with icing because of all those small, very complex designs. They always catch like my spatula or something, and then I actually like pretty much ruin the stencil because there's a crease or something. So
And then you ruin your cookie,
yes.
which is very annoying. So thanks everybody for joining us.
Thank you, everyone, and we will see you again on Friday. So don't forget to tune in.
See you
And
then.
as always, you can find us also on Instagram. And if you're not following us on Facebook, give us a follow there. And we'll see you on Friday.